Hello lads, lassies, and those of unspecified gender, it's the Irishman here, and today we are going to be talking about what would have happened if Goku was addicted to Senzu beans. Now, in case you were unaware, this is actually the third part to this what if. The other two will be linked in the description below if you haven't seen them. And if you have seen them, then they'll still be there and you should still watch them because they were pretty awesome. But don't just take my word for it, these videos have been viewed and enjoyed by thousands of people already, and that number just keeps rising. Anyway, with all of that out of the way, let's get into this what if. Goku and the gang would be celebrating a pretty big event at the Briefs family home. The event in question is the birth of the first ever human Saiyan hybrid, otherwise known as Vegeta Jr. And now, if you're wondering who this is, well, it's actually the son of Nappa and Tights. In case you were unaware, Tights is actually the sister of Bulma, the daughter of Dr. Briefs, as well as the co-star in Jocko the Galactic Patrolman. Tights is a pretty interesting and unexplored character, as well as being one of the few female leads in the Dragon Ball connected manga universe. But sadly, much like Akira Toriyama, I know next to nothing on how to write women, so she will be put more off to the sidelines for now. Back to the actual story, Goku would be enjoying some of his blue raspberry flavored Senzu beans when suddenly he would sense a pretty high power level coming towards the planet. Goku is surprised. This power actually exceeds his base form. Now granted, he does have forms like Super Saiyan 2 and 3, which could boost him far above this unknown fighter, but he decides he wants to check it out. It could be pretty interesting. Once he arrives, he would see someone sitting in an odd-looking vehicle in the middle of a wasteland. He has his ship behind him, and his power is immense. Goku is surprised. How could someone so small have so much power? He was taught never to judge a book by its cover, but dang, this is one ugly-looking book. Frieza, noticing Goku's arrival, would ask him who he is and why he's here. And Goku would say that he has half a mind to ask Frieza the same question. Frieza was going to retort back, but then he would notice something on Goku. A tail. He would ask him if he's a Saiyan, or the Saiyan. Hearing this, Goku would realize who Frieza is, and then he would burst out in laughter. Frieza would ask Goku what's so funny, and Goku would look at him and say, "Nothing, it's just, I was told you were the strongest in the universe." Frieza would snap back a bit insulted, saying that, yes, he is indeed the strongest in the universe, uncontested in his mighty power. Goku once again would burst out in laughter, and then, without another second of hesitation, would let out a blood-curdling scream, transforming into the one and only, well, more like four now, legendary Super Saiyan. Frieza, for a moment, and only a moment, would let out a look of pure fear, but then he would remember why he trained for 2 weeks. Only 2 weeks. So that, no matter how strong the Super Saiyan was, he would be stronger. And then, with a slight look of hesitation, Frieza would send both Zarbon and Dodoria to deal with Goku. Zarbon and Dodoria are dead. Moving on from that, Frieza would decide that he's a bit concerned. Goku is proving to be a bigger challenge than he might have first assumed. So Frieza, after stepping out of his bubble car, would say that he's going to show Goku a true treat, a delight. Only a few have seen this and none live to tell the tale. So Frieza would then transform into his second form. Goku is surprised, not by his power, but at the fact that this is actually the second horniest guy he's ever fought. The first was a guy named Spike, but that's a tale for another day. To Frieza, this look of surprise and even potential fear on Goku's face, well, it's just a dead giveaway that the Super Saiyan is no threat to him, since he's scared by even just Frieza's second form. He could never even stand a chance against his true power. But then, the look of fear washes away from Goku's face. It was never really fear to begin with, it was just slight shock. But then, Goku would get into a fighting stance. He's pumped up, his blood is boiling, and he's ready for a proper fight. And this surprises Frieza. He isn't scared? Whatever, it's probably just bravado. The Saiyans have some odd addiction to fighting, but little did Frieza know, Goku has another addiction. An addiction to abusing aliens and eating Senzu beans. And Goku's bag's nearing empty. The two would then begin to battle. And now, Goku actually has a very, very large advantage when it comes to strength. Frieza in his first form is actually stronger than Goku is in his base, but Goku is using the Super Saiyan form, which would be a 50 times multiplier, even if you were wanting to highball Frieza's first form to being 2 times what Goku's base form is. Even in his second form, Frieza just isn't able to compete with the Super Saiyan version of Goku, and so Frieza would crank it up to his third form. And now we don't really have a gauge for how strong third form Frieza is, but I'm gonna say he is roughly equal to what Super Saiyan Goku is here. Goku is practically jumping with joy. He can sense how strong Frieza is, and he can also sense now how much Frieza is holding back. He can't get an accurate gauge for how strong Frieza would be at his full power, but just the fact alone that Frieza is holding back while still being able to rival his Super Saiyan form, it's absolutely mind-boggling, but it's also very exciting for the Saiyan warrior. Frieza would notice that Goku is considerably battle-worn, as well as being somewhat out of energy. He would decide that it's time to stop playing around, and so he would declare that he is now going to transform into his fourth and final unbeatable form. And then, as rocks float up around him, Frieza would unleash his full power, demonstrating his true final form. Well, it's not really his final form as much as it is his true form, but I think you understand what I'm getting at. Goku is at awe at the power that Frieza is letting off. He even states that this power surpasses the strength of his Super Saiyan 2 form. But then, Goku would let out a grin, pulling out a bag of his flavored Senzu and taking one, popping it into his mouth. With this, Goku would get fully restored, as well as getting a small Zenkai which boosts his strength, but only minimally. Frieza, seeing this, would actually be impressed, even commenting on the strange and powerful abilities of the little red bean. Goku, without another moment to waste, and possibly even ignoring Frieza, would then let out a blood-curdling scream, transforming into the Super Saiyan 3 form. Frieza is left slack-jawed. He can't sense Goku's power, but he can feel how strong Goku is just from the aura alone. Now, this doesn't mean he has an accurate gauge of Goku's strength, but when Goku rushes at him, landing blow after blow, Frieza can tell it doesn't really matter. Goku is just far too strong to be dealt with. Frieza would debate just leaving, going away and choosing either to never come back and just leave the planet alone, or maybe bringing the Ginyus or even his father with him to help clean up this mess. But Goku isn't giving him any breathing room. He can barely hear his own thoughts. But then, Goku would stop beating him down. He would just stop. What, does Goku think he's too good for the Emperor? But really, no. Goku was just a bit tired and had run low on energy, and so he wanted to take a Senzu bean. That way, he could be brought back up to full. But Frieza, well, he would begin to connect the dots. He would realize that the Senzu beans are some sort of a miracle drug that are able to heal him some way or make him stronger, and so he would shoot the bag straight out of Goku's hand, incinerating all of the beans. Goku, seeing all this go down, would just stand there and look at Frieza for a solid half a minute. And then, without another moment of hesitation, and before Frieza can even react, Goku would power up and launch a Kamehameha, destroying Frieza's arm, completely erasing it with no trace. Frieza is barely able to comprehend what just happened to him. It happened in a fraction of a second, and he would let out a scream of pure, unbridled pain and agony. Goku would nonchalantly, as well as kind of calmly, say to Frieza,
"Yeah, I think we're probably about even now."
Goku would then decide that he's going to head back to the party, as Frieza, clinging to his life, trying not to bleed out, would rush back onto his ship. After arriving back at Capsule Corp, Goku would explain what all went down, and everyone's shocked. Goku was actually able to beat Frieza? That's amazing, but he just let him go? Won't that have serious repercussions? What if he gets stronger? And Goku would say that then he'll just be a better fight later. Time would do what time does and pass, and eventually Frieza would return back to Earth, having trained himself up as well as getting a new mechanical arm. He has also brought 2 of his older family members along with him, King Cold, and Cooler. Doubting that any of the Earth's forces would be able to stand up against him and his family, Frieza is grinning ear to ear. He's not only ready to kill, but he's also excited to fight. But before the three Frost Demons actually get a chance to lay siege to the Earth, they're confronted by an odd-looking, green, almost bug-like man.
You don't seem to understand. Earth isn't yours to conquer.